Okay, welcome everyone. I wanted to do a quick video here to help tune up for the feet and the legs and the low back. I've been talking about doing a video for a while now with my classes and my private students, and I figured, well, happy Thanksgiving everyone. So we're going to start off really quickly. This should only take you about, if you did this on your own without me narrating and everything, it probably will only take you maybe somewhere between 7 to 10 minutes. We're going to start off with toe squats. And if you haven't done this yet, you're in for a treat. If you have done this with me, you are very familiar with it and know what is about to happen. Feel free to try a couple forward bends or downward dog to really kind of just feel what your body feels like now before we start to stretch it out. And I won't walk through that with you, but it just kind of gives you a nice baseline of where you are and where you can go just through some really simple actions. So before we begin, really kind of just come into the feet here and feel how your body feels. Just see what you have going on. Notice the parts of the feet that are touching the ground and where they're touching. Notice if you have more weight in your heels or more in the balls of your feet. Notice if your toes are gripping or relaxed. Just kind of see what you have going on with your feet there. And then we're going to come down to a kneeling position. And you can certainly bring a blanket or a towel underneath the knees or even one behind the bends of the knees. So we want to make sure that the feet are stayed at this nice folded toe area here for the duration of our 2 minutes. And you can stay lifted or you can start to sink down into the hips. So go ahead and just bring those toes under. And this might be enough of a stretch for you, and if it is, great, stay here. If not, on your next exhale, you'll just start to sink back a little bit and really try to come to a nice relaxed place. And I know you probably think I'm crazy saying that, but this is something that over time should start to feel a little bit better. And it should come to kind of help you be a great tool to help keep the low back and the feet in check. If you are somebody who historically wears lots of high heels or shoes that are tight, if you're on your feet a lot, you're going to notice this probably pretty quickly. And you might start to feel kind of a stretching or pulling here in the foot. Maybe it's even getting warm, and that's totally fine. As many of you who've been my private clients or in classes with me know, I mean, you've heard this a million times probably, there is a band of fascia that attaches there at the base of the heel, works its way up, all the way up the back of the body, and attaches at the occipital ridge there at the base of your skull. So it can cause a chain reaction of events to happen if you have any tension along the back body in the legs. You're going to feel that response in the rest of your body. So what we're doing here is kind of creating a new chain reaction, which is to try to release some of that tension on those tissues. I do have clients who do this daily that complained about plantar fasciitis, and after the second or third day noticed that the plantar fasciitis was gone. So feel free if you have people in your life or if you're a sufferer of that to try this one out. And really just try to breathe here. This point, my feet are super hot. So if you're feeling heat in your feet, just know that it's from the blood rushing in and it's just kind of hydrating those tissues. And we're going to take one more nice deep breath in here. Stay for our exhale. On your inhale, if you're not there, you're going to come up to kneeling and gently and slowly release those toes, maybe tapping them on the floor, maybe coming down to kneel and lifting alternately those knees to stretch the front of the feet. And then you're going to come to stand, and feel free again that if you did do any forward folding or downward dogs, you want to do that again here and just see if you notice a nice difference there. Go ahead and close your eyes and let your feet just kind of rest on the floor and see what you feel and notice. You might notice that maybe your weight is distributed differently. You might notice that the toes are more relaxed, or maybe your feet feel wider. Maybe they're still really hot, and that's totally fine too. The next one that we're going to do is with a tennis ball, and I say this all the time. If you work in an office, the best two things that you can have in your desk is a yoga block and a tennis ball, obviously in addition to your office supplies. Tennis balls are pretty cheap. You can usually find them at Dick's or any sporting goods store. Under $2 for a sleeve with 3 balls in it. You really only need to have 2, but there you have it. If you can go grab some of those, that'd be great. If you have a golf ball or a lacrosse ball, you can feel free to use that as well. I recommend doing these on your mat so that the tennis ball doesn't slide away from you. If you don't have a yoga mat at home, you can always use those little jar grippers and place the gripper on a hard surface and the tennis ball on top of it, and that should help ensure that it's not going to roll away from you when we're doing this work. So we'll start with our right foot, and you're going to bring the ball to the top portion of the metatarsals there, which are the bones in your feet, kind of right here. And when you think of bringing it right there where your toes kind of come in, you're just going to go a little bit lower and find the ball of the foot there. The tennis ball is going to rest there. You'll bring your right hand over to that hip, and what we're going to be doing, try to keep those toes nice and lifted, push down through your heel, and you're just going to rotate the leg as it rolls over the ball, and you should feel the femur rotating in the hip socket. So this is an entire leg action. This isn't just with the ankle. We're moving the entire leg as we roll it over that ball. Then you're going to bring the tennis ball underneath the foot, and you'll just bring it up and down, finding any spots of tension, any maybe soreness that you might have. And if you want to hang out a little bit more in one place, feel free to do that. Make sure you're getting into that heel there. It's always nice to show it a little bit of love. And you can go as quickly or slowly as you want and as firmly as you prefer. Then you're just going to kind of bring it across the tissues, which will feel a little bit strange because our tissues and our feet run up and down, and now we're going perpendicular to that. Then we're going to bring the tennis ball back underneath the ball of the foot there. Rest the heel on the ground. Pull those toes up. Try to keep the toes lifted as this goes. It's a little bit difficult sometimes to not overuse our toes. If you look really closely, you'll notice that my left foot, I have a lot more control over my toes than I do on my right side. So try to keep those toes nice and lifted. Slight bend in the knee, pushing that right heel into the floor. Using the ankle, on your next exhale, you're going to push down ball of the foot into the mat. And we're going to do that 3 times. Again, really think of using and isolating that ankle to control the foot. Keeping those toes nice and lifted. Then we're going to roll the ball to our heel. Ball of the foot comes down to the floor. You'll take a nice deep breath in here. On your exhale, really trying to isolate that ankle. Push the heel down into the tennis ball. And we're going to do that 3 times. And you'll just bring your feet flat on the ground. And just notice the difference. If you feel the difference between the right foot and the left foot. Maybe there's different points of contact. Maybe you feel a little bit less grippiness in the toes. Maybe you feel weight distributed differently. Maybe the foot feels wider and flatter. Whatever's there. If you don't notice anything, don't get frustrated. It's not a big deal. We're going to come to the left foot. So that left heel comes down to the ground. And we'll rest the tennis ball at the base there of the toes of the ball of the foot. So again, bringing that left hand to the left hip. And you're going to extend there, lift those toes, and just rotate the entire leg in that hip socket. So really trying to flush that joint, moving the fluid within the joint there, kind of side to side. And then when you're ready, you'll move the tennis ball up and down the foot. Again, maybe finding any little spots of tension, hanging out there a little bit longer. Make sure you get into the heel. And then swipe that tennis ball perpendicular to the muscles there. And then we'll bring that heel down, bring the tennis ball back to the ball of the foot, lift the toes. Really trying to isolate the ankle here, so slight bend in the knee, very, very slight. Take a breath in on your exhale, press the tennis ball with the foot, bring it back up. Again, really try to keep those toes out of the work here, all from the ankle. We're working on flexibility of the ankle joint here. After our third one, we're gonna roll that tennis ball to the heel. Rest the toes and the ball of the foot on the ground. Knee is bent there slightly. On your exhale, really think of pushing that heel down to the tennis ball. Again, we're really trying to isolate the movement of the ankle there. And then again, bringing both feet flat on the ground and just checking in and seeing how you feel. Maybe bringing your awareness to the backs of the legs, the low back, in between the shoulder blades. See if you notice any difference throughout your body. Again, if you don't worry. When I invite you to check into your body, there's no expectation of what you should be feeling. It's all about just being there in the moment and being in your body and seeing what you have going on. So I hope that you guys have happy holidays. I hope this is helpful for you. Feel free to do this once or twice a day. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening before bed, whatever feels best for you. If it's great to do it at lunchtime, do it at lunchtime. Just take a moment to be with yourself and check in. Thanks a lot.